Hi, I'm Gav, and this is I Want to Know How to Feel Good. In this video, I want to show you the first step to enable you to take control of your painful emotions and introduce you to a part of you that knows how to deal with your emotional pain and tension. Later in the video, we're going to talk about the Workhouse Effect, what it is, how it will be affecting you, and how to work towards ending it. So make sure you stick around for that. But before we get there, let's see if we can give you an experience of turning your emotional pain into good feelings by introducing you to the first method of blending with your feelings. Since we've spent years or maybe even decades blocking our painful feelings out, which we all do, in order for us to regain control and feel better, we will now have to consciously blend with our painful feelings. So let's not stand on ceremony and get straight to it. As you sit or lay there, I want you to find the most painful feeling in your body. We're now going to ask a part of you that can to blend with those feelings of pain by giving this part of you an instruction command. Focus on the feelings of pain and in your mind say to the emotional pain, I ask the part of me that can to please allow this feeling to blend with my body, as I now see that it's time to allow this feeling to fully blend with every part of my body. Then watch as the feeling blends and disappears within you. Is there some of the feeling left? This is normal. Look to the painful feeling that's left and say the instruction command again in your mind. I ask the part of me that can to please allow this feeling to blend with my body, as I now see that it's time to allow this feeling to fully blend with every part of my body. Then observe the feeling and blend into your body and disappear. Look to the painful feeling that's left and say the instruction command again in your mind. I ask the part of me that can to please allow this feeling to blend with my body, as I now see that it's time to allow this feeling to fully blend with every part of my body. Is there some more of the feeling left? Focus on the part that's left and give the instruction command again. I ask the part of me that can to please allow this feeling to blend with my body, as I now see that it's time to allow this feeling to fully blend with every part of my body. And observe as it dissolves away and blends into you. Is there some more of the feeling left? There will be. Focus on the part that's left and give the instruction command again. I ask the part of me that can to please allow this feeling to blend with my body, as I now see that it's time to allow this feeling to fully blend with every part of my body. And observe as it dissolves away and blends into you. Keep on saying the instruction command to blend with all of your emotional pain until you feel better than you did before you started and you feel good enough to stop working on yourself. Whenever you feel your emotional pain has gotten too intense to ignore, try having sessions of using the method, which could last anywhere from as little as 5 minutes and up to as long as 20 minutes or more, and consciously blend with all of the feelings in the area where you hold the most tension and pain in your body. Once you've cleared up the main area where you hold the most painful feelings, you can either have a rest or go hunting for more pain to blend with, and use the instruction command to blend with the feelings in a different area of your body until there's little or no pain left, or again until you feel better than you did before you started. As a tip, try using the method when you're in bed at night waiting to fall asleep, as the dark and quiet setting will make it easier for you to observe the feelings of pain blending with your body, and you'll find it easier to see how much of the emotional pain is left, so you can blend with that too. It's also good to use a blending method if you wake up at night and can't get back to sleep, as blending with the feelings that wake you up will soon allow you to get back to the land of Nod. If you're feeling bad when you're waking up in the morning, and if you have the opportunity to do so, try staying in bed and blending with the feelings of pain until you feel better and ready to get up. And keep in mind that the longer your blending sessions are, the more you'll get from them and the better you'll feel. which sounds like a good reason to have a long lay in bed. You can use the method anytime, as long as you're not doing something that requires your attention, like driving, cooking, or looking after young children. And finally, it's important that you build up some experience in using the method of blending with your emotional pain, as in the next video, we're going to build on those experiences of turning your emotional pain into good feelings. If you haven't built up some experience in using the method, then you could easily become lost in future videos, when we'll be learning how to take the method even further. How long should you build up your experience of using the method before you watch the next video? Your goal here in this first step of blending with your feelings is twofold. Firstly, your aim is to learn the instruction command off by heart, so you can do it anywhere and at any time. If you can wake up in the morning and blend with your feelings without struggling to remember the instruction command, then it's safe to say that you've learned it well enough. And secondly, your aim is to get used to experience the feelings of pain actually blending with your body and disappearing within you, as you'll need to build up your own trust in the method, since it will be a new experience. Based on these 2 points as a guide, once you think that you've had enough experience, then feel free to click the next video, which will show you the next step in blending with your feelings. There are only 3 steps to learn in total until you become a master of the blending method. We will then focus on how and when to use the blending method to enable you to get even more from blending with your feelings. Now, as promised, let's talk about the Workhouse Effect. But just before we get into it, it's important to know that I'm not a psychologist, and I've had no training in any of the mental health professions. But what I am is an adult survivor of some terrible circumstances while I was growing up. Anything that I'm about to say about mental health conditions was what I discovered after my depression and anxiety and feelings of pain and agony left me, which I lived with for around 12 years. Once I've dealt with my emotional pain and anguish, the good feelings that I was left with allowed me to reflect on the pain that I'd lived with for so long. This made me realise of some of the specific processes that was happening within my emotional pain and negative ways of thinking. Processes of which I've never heard anyone speak of before. A friend of mine helped me realise that people listen to survivors to see how they broke free from their emotional pain, and that there's no one way to feel better. Thanks for that, Ray. Here then is my take on common mental health conditions. The Workhouse Effect. In Britain from the 1600s to the 1900s, there was buildings known as workhouses. Workhouses were introduced as the answer to the poverty problem, as these big institutions offered accommodations and the opportunity to work for Britain's unemployed. You know, this sounds like a pretty good idea. And it was a good idea, at least for a few select people. You see, workhouses was owned by the rich, who exploited the cheap labours of men, women and children. In Britain, there was a time when it was illegal to be unemployed. If a person was caught without employment, they had a choice of going to the workhouse or going to prison. Both options were considered punishments, as the workhouse enforced strict and harsh working practices of 18-hour days, little food, ill treatment, whipping and dangerous working conditions. So the bottom line was, during these times, if you weren't employed, you was given an even worse situation to live and work in. Doesn't sound like too much of a good idea now, does it? Without the punishment aspect, this is what's going on within you. Since you aren't employing yourself by working with the specific thoughts, feelings and beliefs that came from your past, which need to be addressed and worked with, these specific thoughts, feelings and beliefs sink deeper into you until they can't be felt. And in their place are things like depression and anxiety, and the constant feeling of tension and pain in the body. So the bottom line here is, if you're not working with these specific thoughts, feelings and beliefs that came from traumatic situations in your past, you're given an even worse situation to live with, which is the metaphorical workhouse effect. Or to put it another way, things like depression and anxiety, the saturation of emotional tension and pain, or deep lethargy, and the lack of desire to build a life which you would enjoy are all workhouse effects. Though it may feel like it from time to time, these more painful feelings that we're left with have nothing to do with punishment. Your internal workhouse effect is more like if a person went without sleep for a few days in a row. I'm sure you can imagine how this must feel, that you're so tired that you're literally dead on your feet. But everybody knows that the tiredness we experience is a natural knock-on effect caused by a lack of sleep. And just like tiredness is a knock-on effect, so too are depression, anxiety, and emotional tension and pain a knock-on effect also. In using the blending method, you'll experience for yourself that you'll soon begin to feel better than you did before you started blending with your feelings, which is because you're putting an end to the workhouse effect each time you use the method. Once you think you've had enough experience of this first step, meaning that you know what it feels like to blend with your emotional pain and that you know the instruction command off by heart, I'll see you in the next video. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe and share this video. I'll end by saying that it's now time to take control of your emotions by using the method to blend with your emotional pain. If it helps, think of this first step of blending with your feelings as a new training regime. But instead of training your body to get fitter, you're training your mind and emotions to feel better day after day. Use the blending method whenever you feel your emotional pain is too much to carry around, and go to town in using the method, as all that'll be happening every time you blend with your emotional pain is that you'll have more opportunities to feel good.